Okay, we'll see if anybody joins us, but if not, we're just going to go ahead and get started. You should have your textbook open, and you should probably put it on page 125 to give yourself that document that the computer gives you, which is basically the generic outline of a generic outline of a business letter document. Now, a lot of people are having issues right now creating business letters, and that's what's going to be on the test tomorrow. Okay, by the way, we have to have a test. We need one more test grade for the 6 weeks. So, the 6 weeks, which is actually 9 weeks. We need one more test grade, and we're going to go ahead and run that tomorrow. It's going to be a simple document creation. The way I like to run tests for the most part, I know we've been doing a lot of Google Forms and stuff like that, but that is not a true test of your skill with regards to Word, is it? It's like, do you know stuff? Yes. Can you actually make Word documents? That's the more important thing that I want you to get out of this class whenever you are, finished at the end of the year. I want you to be able to create Word documents. I want you to be able to do things and make stuff. And if you can't do that, I don't care if you know what a pop-up window is. It doesn't do me any good to have you know what a pop-up window is when you can't use any. You know what I mean? So we are going to do stuff that basically allows us to test whether or not you know what you're doing with the Word program and the Excel program and stuff like that. So this test will be a test of your ability to create documents. And that document is honestly going to be pretty much exactly like the things that we have been working on before. Now, in the stream, I have put in 2 things for business letter formats. One of them is the block letter format thing that you see right here. And another one is basically I took the same form and then I changed it up so that it is a modified block format. So that's in the stream on October 19th. Okay? You should look at those documents and know and understand what it is that I'm asking you to do whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. So let's talk about this letter to your senator stuff. I'm going to bring up the instructions to the letter to the senator, and then I'm going to basically do something like that for you right here, right now. Some of you just need some formatting help. Some of you wrote very good letters. Some of you guys wrote some really powerful letters with some personal examples and some very interesting stories and like very interesting points of view and stuff like that, and I appreciated it. I thought it was great. I was like, wow, that's a really good point you make there. But part of the assignment was to show that you could create this document as a business letter, and some of you just basically said, "Dear Senator Cornyn, blah 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 blah, sincerely me," and it's like, okay, that's great for grandma, but this is a business letter. I need you to show me that you can do it in the right format. That is my, that is my thing that I'm trying to teach you right now. Okay, so for the first part, in the letter to the senator, there's a lot of information, and it's all kind of all over the place and scattered. And I did that on purpose because I wanted you guys to figure out the stuff that you need and put it in the appropriate place. So it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, you know what I mean? All right, so some of the instructions are here, some of the instructions are there. But let's look at what the document says that we need first. It says we need a return address, okay? It says return address right here. It may be a little fuzzy. You may not be able to see it too well, but that is what it says. I'm going to go ahead and present my screen now so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. That would be most helpful. My smiling happy face is, well, not really smiling and happy. It's partially obscured. But that's very interesting. What is it doing? Yeah, I know I'm presenting, but holy smokes, is it? Being a little weird today. Still a little weird on the computer today. We had issues. We had technology issues yesterday, but we're going to try and work around those. Okay, so first thing that we have to do is we have to do the return address, but the return address is, this is a modified semi-block style, so that return address has to be over here on the right-hand side somewhere. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put in a tab stop at the 3.5 inch mark so that we can jump over to that point and then proceed from there without having to change the alignment stuff that we have at the top here. Okay, So I'm already having a left-handed tab stop right here. It's because the little L, it says little L in the tab selector. So let's jump over to the 3.5 inch mark and click on the bottom side of the ruler. And now I've got the little L, and so I tab over to that. Now here I am. Okay, here's where my words go now that I've done that tab stop. And if you put on the thing, now you can see that there's a little arrow here that shows that I pressed the tab key. But unfortunately, I did not change my style. Changing the style is an important thing. We should go with the no spacing style first, okay? Let's go ahead and hit no spacing style. And if you don't do no spacing style first, guess what? Oh no, Bob Saget. It wipes out your little tab. So do your tab again at the 3.5 inch mark. If it got wiped out because now you're on no spacing style. So next time, just remember, no spacing style first, and then tab stop second, okay? So now I need the return address. The return address is my address, just in case this letter needs to be returned to me. And in the document, you will see there are addresses for you to use, the inside address and the return address. The return address is here, okay? The return address is the second one. So don't write the words return address. That's kind of silly and useless. Just type in the actual address. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see my words. So McCollum High School, shift tab, ATTN, colon, which means attention, which means you're sending something to a large corporation or something like that. If you just send it to the large corporation, they'll be like, okay, whatever. But if you say attention so-and-so, they're like, oh, this needs to go to that guy. All right, fine. Your first and last name. So, Lincoln. All right, that's me. And then enter tab. Okay. Enter tab. The third line is 500 West Formosa. Okay. Because for some strange reason here in San Antonio, we don't bother with doing the drives or streets or whatever. And then San Antonio, Texas, 78253. Okay. I'm sorry, 78221. Okay. So that is the return address. That is my address. In this document, that's my address. All right, now I press enter, and then I press tab again because also the date should be over here on the right-hand side. So press enter twice and then press tab so that there's a line of space between the return address and the date. Remember, the date's very important for when you go to court and you say, Your Honor, we gave him a month to respond to this as proven by the date on our letter. We gave him a month, he ignored us, that's why we're suing him. Okay, so to get the date, you can either just type in the date or you can go insert, and you can go to this little calendar with a clock symbol, which is the insert date and time. It gives you all kinds of choices. I'm going to say October 20th, 2020, and I'm going to check off this little update automatically box just in case I want to write another letter to the senator later to tell him how displeased I am about his vote on something else later. And then I just can click on the date, and it updates automatically for today's date. So I say OK, and then I look and I see, oh, look, the little update box. Ooh, pretty. Now, the next thing says certified mail. I'm not using certified mail because I don't want to spend $5 to make sure that this one little letter gets to the senator. I'm just going to skip that part. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There should be a large amount of spaces. There should be 3 blank spaces before your inside address. So whatever comes after, whatever comes before the inside address, there must be 3 blank spaces in between that and the inside address. Now, the inside address is the address of the person you are writing the letter to. Some of you are getting confused. Some of you see the instructions where I list just the basics of the inside address, which is this Sydney Brooks Drive, San Antonio, Texas, and you think that's all you have to write. But what does the document say? What does our little guideline say here? It says you should identify the person you're writing to, what their job is, where they work, and then the physical address, which is the thing that I provided to you. So who is it that we're writing to today? It is Senator Carlos, whoops, not Carlos, Carlos Uresti, comma, oops, not comma, Senator Carlos Uresti, who is a state senator. Put that on the next line as his job title. Where does he work? The Texas State Legislature. Okay. These are I'm more or less like going on the fly with these job titles and like places that he works and stuff like that. But that's the general idea. Person's name, including honorifics like senator or doctor or whatever. Job title on the next line. Place of business at the next line. Now the address of the place of business, which is the thing that I've listed as the inside address. Some of you are forgetting these 3 lines that I just typed and then just typing in the inside address lines, and that is not correct. You should always include the person's name and what they do and all that stuff, if you know it. Okay, so 315 Sydney Brooks Drive. Okay, Suite 100. You can also see suite written as this, STE period 100. That's another way of writing suite if you're writing an address. San Antonio, Texas, TX 78235. Okay, double enter. Okay, that is the inside address. The next thing that comes up is the salutation. That's the Dear Mr. line, or the Dear Miss line if you're writing to somebody else. So obviously we will say Dear Senator. Always address them by their title, but don't put their first name. We are not robots. We do not say Dear Senator Carlos Uresti. We just say Dear, like normal people. We just say Dear Senator Uresti. Comma, enter, enter. Now, would you like to use a subject? You can use a subject. Some people type in subject like in big letters. Upcoming vote on drug testing for government assistance. Hey, you can put in whatever you want in the subject line. Just give them a heads up of what's coming. Then just press double enter. Okay, so let's say that I thought about this. Many of you liked this idea. Many of you did not like this idea somewhat. But a lot of people did realize many things that they did not realize before and probably thought that they would think differently. But once they put some thought into it, they may have changed their mind or they may have solidified their opinion. That's good. Thinking is a good thing. Processing information from various different viewpoints and coming up with your own conclusion is the responsibility of a functional American adult. Okay? You are in a democracy. You are in a free state. You can take information from both sides of issues and make up your own mind about what you want. That is a thing that is true, and it is a thing that we do as Americans, and it is something that you should be able to engage in. Free thought and coming up with your own opinions is a good thing. Okay. Now, let's see, paragraph number 1. What should we do? All right, so modified semi-block actually means that we take this top triangle and we move it over here for the body paragraphs. We move the little thing over here so that the first line of the paragraph is indented. If you forgot that part, that's okay. I'm not like too super concerned with it. But if you wanted to do modified semi-block, that is the thing to make it semi-block. All right, now paragraph number 1 is the introduction. I am writing to you to inform you that I agree/disagree. Let's say that I disagree. Just to provide an alternate viewpoint for the people that were all mostly agreeing with the proposal. I'm going to have to reduce the size here. You may not be able to see my writings too well, but that's okay. My opinion here is not what matters. My typing of what I want to show is. Okay, I'm writing to inform you that I disagree with the proposal or the proposed action of requiring individuals who are applying for government assistance to pass a drug test. Okay, my name is Todd Lincoln, and I am a freshman at McCollum High School. I am currently taking, let's just go off and say BIM. And we have recently learned how to create a proper business letter. I am using the skills I have learned to become engaged in my community. Now, notice something. I typed most of that while just looking at the words on the screen where it's got the letter to the senator. I was not looking at my keyboard, which means I was able to type faster because I was able to read directly off the page that I was trying to read from without having to look either at my screen because I knew I was not making any mistakes, but also I was also definitely not looking at my keyboard trying to find the letters that I was needing to type next. You need to get that good if you want to do office work. You need to be able to type stuff on the keyboard without constantly looking down to find your keys. That makes it much easier to do your work. All right, press enter twice. Notice that because we set up the first line indent, the first line of this paragraph is kicked in a little bit closer than the other lines are, but all the other lines are on the left-hand side. Now, when we press enter twice, our first line is still kicked in a little bit. That's why it's over here. All right, so reason number 2. There are several reasons why I agree/disagree with this proposal. Let's write it up. Okay, there are several reasons why I disagree with this proposed idea. Okay, I disagree with this action because, all right, let's say that one of my reasons is because I believe that it's wrong to test people who have not been committed of crimes. I believe it's wrong to test people who are not being accused of crimes. I believe, period, space, this is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Okay? Some people can make that argument. I'm sure a good lawyer could argue that point all day long. Again, let's say a violation of the Fourth Amendment against unlawful searches and seizures without a warrant. Okay? Let's say that that is a point I would like to make. I also believe it's morally wrong to accuse someone of being a drug user just because they are asking for help. Let's say that that greatly offends me. Okay, I think it's very wrong that that happens, and it's terrible and awful that you're accusing someone of being a drug user. Okay, these people are already in a tough situation. And now we are making it harder on them and accusing them of crimes, essentially. Okay? All right. So that's a point to make. Okay? We have made points. Yay. All right, now let's get on with it. Press enter twice. Now go to paragraph 3. Issues like this are complex, and there is no easy answer. I appreciate all the hard work you do for our district. You got to butter them up a little bit. And the time you have taken to read my letter. Okay, if you are falling behind at this point, I think just realize that you can write up whatever it is that you want to write up. You can like pause this video and write some more about it, or if you're watching this live, you can just go ahead and just like write the stuff that you want to write later. It's not important right now that you have complete thoughts and finish up your paragraphs and everything. Don't worry about that right now. We are just doing like basic formatting stuff right now. And we are just going to try to make sure that everybody understands how to do the formatting stuff, how to set up the letter, where things go, and all that stuff. So if you're falling behind, don't worry about it. You can come back and finish this up later. Okay? So let's all just go ahead and go on and press enter twice so that we are now at the last part. Now, we are no longer in the body paragraphs, everybody. We are no longer in the body paragraphs. So if you want to go back to the straight up left-hand side of the screen, but you've got a first line indent, you can do one of two things. Either you can take this triangle and pull it back, or you could just simply hit the backspace key. Oh, why are you not working backspace key? There we go now. Now it's back to the left-hand side, all the way to the left-hand side. No more first line indent. I guess the easiest thing would be to just go ahead and hit that little first line indent button, or go to the Home tab and click on this little indentation where you decrease the indent. That would also work. See, increasing indent, decreasing indent. Kick the decreasing indent over, and it should go all the way back to the left-hand side. Now, remember, aha, a while back we put in that little 3.5 inch marker, and it's still there. So go ahead and tab. Okay, now you're at this point. Let's choose a closing. Respectfully, that's the one I like to use. Okay, so I tabbed over. And I said respectfully. Now it's on the right-hand side, middle right-hand side of the screen. Okay, comma. Don't forget the comma at the end of respectfully. Press enter 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Tab over. Type in your name. Press enter, press tab, type in the fact that you are a student at McCollum High School. Okay. And that's it, basically. All right. Now, you could go and take this middle line of these 3 blank lines, tab it over, increase the size of it to about like 28 point, choose some kind of script font, one of these fonts that basically looks kind of like a handwriting-ish kind of thing. And then go ahead and type your name in with that, so that it looks extra scripty and extra handwriting-y. So there's Edwardian, there's Palace script. That's a little bit closer to my actual handwriting. You can choose some other ones. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger for this particular one, but not that big, not so big that it takes up 2 lines. But yeah, something around that size, perfectly fine. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, and you can see if you take off the paragraph markings, you can see how your letter looks and how it would actually be printed. Okay. All right. So that is what needs to happen in a letter. Okay. Return address, which is your address up here at the top on the right-hand side for a modified style. The date over here on the right-hand side for a modified style. A 5-line, remember 5 lines, person's name, person's job title, where they work, address of where they work, city, state, zip code of where they work. Dear whoever, don't use their first name. Subject line if you feel like it. Body text of your stuff. Okay, kick it in half an inch using this triangle here. Kick in a half inch with your first line indent if you're trying to write in modified semi-block. Okay, the closing, the sincerely, the respectfully, whatever. Right hand side on the tab. Press tab to get here. Your name in script if you feel like it. Your typed in name so that if you handwrite this signature, you can actually read it. And then your job title. Okay? That is how you do this letter. Okay? That is what's basically going to be on the test tomorrow. You're going to be tasked with making a letter, and that letter is going to be something like this. Okay? I do not want to know, or I do not want to see anybody just typing up, just typing up the words, and then that's it. And it's like no formatting. It's like, hey, anybody can just type words into Word. Okay? Anybody can do that. I'm trying to train to be a professional. You need to be able to make the letter look like this, which is how business letters look, which gets people taking your opinion seriously. Capiche? Is everybody good? Everybody got it? Everybody understand what's going on? All right. Okay. Any questions? Feel free to go ahead and text me something, shoot me an email. If you're at home, ask questions, and we'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.